And get spare time.
As well. That's just fun. But so the sign for headache, because I know that's such a fun little start, is gonna be you have like almost like your G's. You don't have to do like the full with the thumbs, you can have them relaxed, and you're gonna go this. Yeah. And it's like if you visually you think about like you feel like it's just like this constant pushing.
I think I've actually used this sign before completely seriously. Like
Yes. Like exactly that. So this is headache. This is also just the generic sign for hurt. So the reason you'll have this sign like you have it up here is because your head's hurting. If your arm is hurting, you would do like arm hurt, like hurt. If your stomach hurts, which I can't really show, but then you would do the sign like hurt, like this. So whatever's hurting, you do that sign in front of. Like if your ear's hurting, you'll do hurt. Throat's hurting, hurt, that. So very easy.
That's pretty cool.
I do appreciate how clear that is because if there's a different sign for saying like stomach ache for headache, backache, throat ache, everything, I think I feel like I would like my kids would sign it and I wouldn't understand what they're saying. And I would totally miss that they're like, no, I'm hurting. Please let me go to the bathroom. And very easy to have a mistake. So I'm like, all the same. I know when they're saying they're hurting.
Wait, did you just do the sign for mistake?
I did do the sign for mistake. So, okay.
What is that?
So the sign for mistake is a Y, and you're going to start on the closest side of your cheek, and then you go across. Mistake. Yeah. Mistake. I have a lot of fun with this sign because
interesting.
I do this. I'm always like, mistake. I tell my kids that I'm like, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Not that I say I'm doing something wrong all the time, but I don't know. I like the sign mistake because I used to do wrong, but I don't really like this because the sign for wrong is wrong. It's the wrong. Y again, but now you tap it wrong. Yeah, wrong. And that can be like for what's wrong? Like, are you all right? Or no, that's wrong. Like that answer's wrong. And I just didn't really like saying I was wrong. I like saying I made a mistake. I feel like that taught my kids more to understanding that yes, it was wrong. Like the problem was not right, but it doesn't mean it's like it has that label of like being like bad. It's wrong. It's a mistake. I don't know. I'm one of those people that's like, I watch how I say words. And so mistake is just one I always use. I don't know. Anyways, okay. Let me pull up my phone with my list. I got totally distracted because talking about allergies. Because that's my life right now. Let's see. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't help that conversation very well. Sorry.
No, you're totally good because like I could go on about it. And then hopefully I'm sitting at my so as you can tell, my background's slightly different. Usually I sit at my like bar area, like the bar, but breakfast, I think that's what's called, breakfast bar, breakfast nook. It's where my kitchen counters kind of continue into an L shape, and I have two high chairs, and I usually sit there. And I finally got my actual kitchen dining room table in my house. So I'm sitting here now, which is why I look a little different. If you guys prefer me to sit back over there, I can always go back over there like next class, but we'll try it for this one. It also means I have the window in front of me, so the sun might get in my eye, but we'll see. Give me 1 second. My dog got a hold of a trash bag from my trash can, and I'm trying to get him to stop chewing it before he rips it up. Okay, sorry about that. I had to grab it from him. He likes to just sneak and steal stuff. So I'm trying to make sure he's not. Okay, we're good. All right, so for tonight's class, we are actually going to work on food. And yes, because we didn't do food last week. Sorry, my brain is like all over this with the allergies. I'm trying to make sure I'm not doing, because we did family last week, right? And so that means it's food this week. Okay. All right, so we're going to do food first. And then if we have time, we'll start on did we do food? No, I'm sorry. I keep going over it because it's throwing me. I'm so sorry.
I remember we did places. I remember we did things like chocolate, but we did the family review, and then we did pronouns, right? And then
yes,
then
that.
family, and then places, because we
Yes.
talked
And then
about
the WH
rooms
question
and-
words.
yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes,
who,
yes. That's
what,
what it
when,
was.
where.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've not done
Oh.
food yet.
Okay, so I like, it's just, I have the list and I didn't like update it from like last time. So I'm following through like, okay, we've been
That's
following
okay.
through it.
Morgan and I were saying this morning, just it was a lot of signs last time. It really was. Just I remember getting off and being like, my brain kind of hurts a little bit, but because it is a lot. But yes, and I think we might have mentioned like at one point you talked about colors and talked about maybe orange or peach or something, but
There was
I don't
a
think we
lot. Last week's was a kind of intense session. I know it was. There's a lot of words. I could see on all of y'all's faces. You all looked exhausted. And I was like, after that class, I was like, I really should have stopped after a few of those, but I just kept going. So I'll try to be a little more like, okay, would y'all want to stop right now? We can stop with tonight's class. But food's kind of fun, I always think. And some of them aren't, like, I feel like you can kind of pick up on them and go, oh, or you might enjoy them more because there's things you can actually like, use fast, like be like, oh, I like this, this, and that. So we're gonna start off with a sign for the actual sign for food. So the sign for food is kind of, it's like that O shape, but it's like pinched a little at the front. If you see, yeah. And you're gonna go food. And you're gonna do a double tap. That means food. If you do one tap, it means eat. So food, eat. Eat, yes. All right. So then we're going to start with fruit. So I have this. So the sign for fruit, fun fact, is actually the same sign that at my school they use for ketchup. A couple of other places will have like different, because ASL can be like regional. So some areas will use this sign, but if you went to like New York, they might say, oh no, we don't say that for ketchup. We say this. So for one of those situations, if you're like signing and they don't understand, finger spelling always is a nice little help. Because I have one friend from Tennessee, and she works at the school here. And we'll just talk all the time about the different signs that we've seen from being in Tennessee and being in Alabama. And even then there's some differences, because like ketchup was one. She said that's not what she uses in Tennessee, but she's changed since she's been here, which is, so the sign for fruit and ketchup is kind of brush and like fruit is kind of bounce. Oh, sorry. So you see it's that fruit or fruit. And then the same thing for ketchup is either one. Some people will do bouncing. Some I do see kind of bounce like this. Either one works. It's just on the corner of your cheek with that F, fruit. Sound good? Okay. Now we're actually going to do types of fruit. Obviously, we're going to start off with apple, because I feel like apple's the first thing you think of when you think of fruit. Maybe not everybody, but like the basics. So apple, you're going to have your X kind of motion. And the back of your middle knuckle is going to be on the corner of your cheek. And you're going to shake it. Apple. Apple. Then we have orange. So I think we did go through orange last week. I'm going to do it again, obviously. Orange is going to be orange. Orange. Yeah, orange. And like I said, this is also the sign for the color orange and an actual orange in itself. Orange. Orange. Then we have grapes. So grapes is going to be your non-dominant. So you're probably y'all's left hand kind of up, and then your dominant is going to come and bounce. And if you think about it, it's like it's the grapes on the vines, like bunches of grapes. You know, when you get a whole big group, they're all kind of clustered together. Grapes. Then we have peach. So peach is going to be peach. It's like, yeah. So, and I think from it, if I remember correctly, someone told me the reasoning for it, I believe, is that because of peach fuzz. That's where it's from. So peach. I thought that was cute. Then we have tomato. I know, like, yes, I was about to start a whole discussion that I did this last class because I did like the last group class about tomato being a fruit because I put it in the vegetables the last time on accident. Not that I thought it was a vegetable. I was just adding and I was like, oh yeah, let me add tomato. And someone got onto me for that. And I was like, I'm so sorry. It is a fruit. But the sign for tomato is going to be, it's two signs in one. So it's the sign for red, which is red. And then chopping. So yeah, it's kind of like that flat zero and you slice your finger down like it's the knife. Yeah, chop. So tomato. I'm not a big tomato fan, but I do know people who like it are very sad that tomato doesn't really have its own sign. It has to have the, like two signs put together, red and then chopping. And I was like, I mean, it makes sense. They're like, yeah, but it's not as cute as like peach. So then we have vegetable. So vegetable is going to be the V, vegetable. And you want to have your like palm facing outward, vegetable. Yeah. And then it's your pointer finger touching the corner of your mouth, vegetable. So the types of, well, actually, let's stop. I'm sorry. I know I just gave you all vegetable. Let's stop and go back on the fruit. I need to paste this. I need to split this up better. So let's go back to the side for food. So we have food, and then eat once. Good. Then we have the sign for fruit, fruit. Then we have the sign for apple. Apple, yeah, it's that, yeah, apple. Oh, yes. Banana. You know what? I think banana is later down on it. No, it's not. I can't believe I forgot banana. It's so easy. Banana is banana. You just pretend like you're peeling the banana. Yeah. That I was so glad when that was it because I was like, that makes it so much easier. Oh, I see it. It is in the list. I skipped it. It's under grapes. My bad. Then we had orange. Then we had grapes. Grapes. Yep. And if you were going to talk about the different types of grapes, like if you're talking about like the red grapes or the green grapes, you would just say, not red, purple. Sorry. I don't know why I said red. I promise I only see purple grapes. You would just do purple grapes. Purple, the P, shaking it. Yeah. So you make a P and you shake it, and that's the sign for purple. Or green, which is the G, and you shake it. Green. So that's how you would differentiate from that. The sign for berry is kind of an interesting one because I've seen so many people sign it differently. I've seen some say berry, where they have kind of like the pointer finger and then they like, yeah, like berry. I've also seen that the sign for other things like cotton. I feel like with berry, it's almost better sometimes just to finger spell, just because it's so easy to get confusing. And I've just not seen many common ones. A lot of times I just see berry. So I wish there was a nicer one. Maybe there is a clear one and I've just not experienced it yet. Then we have peach. Then tomato. So red, chopping. Yep. Yeah. I love watching y'all's faces because you guys are so serious about it too, like making sure you're doing it right. And sometimes I'm like, is everybody okay? And I'm like, oh no, they're just really focused. It just kind of looks because you guys are like with this angry look. And I'm like, oh no, they're just focused. So, okay. Then we have, so how are we feeling on our fruit? We're feeling good on our fruit. Is there any other kinds of fruits you guys would like to know the signs for? I know I didn't get all of them. Some of them, when they get really kind of rare or not common, you would finger spell them. I know for like kiwi, you would finger spell. I've seen signs for pineapple, but every time I ask someone, they change it. They say, no, that's not it. So a lot of times people say that they just finger spell pineapple. I have seen one person do for fun being pine. They fingerspell pine and then did apple. I mean, technically, you're not wrong. So no one's gonna like be like, I didn't understand what you said. But most of the time it'd be fingerspell. Cherry is fingerspelled. Let's see any others. I love how literally both of them are pineapple cherry in the chat box. It just makes me laugh because you guys were literally thinking of the exact same ones, and it just, I don't know, it made me laugh how it's like a pattern. Let's see, any more fruit? I think we're good there. Okay, so let's go. Oh, lemon. There actually is a sign. Yes, so the sign for lemon is going to be your thumb is at the corner of your mouth, and you're going to bounce it. Lemon. It's almost like our who, but now on the side. Lemon. And the fun reason I think the reason lemon's over here is because this, I know I'm going ahead a little. The sign for sour is right around in this area as well. So I think that's why the lemon is there. So, for lime, I think they just fingerspell lime. I think that one's kind of one of those easy, just fast kind of spelling ones. So pear, I think pear is also another fingerspell. A lot of times if you get those 4-letter words, it's just kind of fingerspell because it's a lot. It actually can be faster than signing an actual sign for it. So, all right, here, let's see vegetables because I feel like you guys are going to have like 30 different vegetables on me and I'm going to have to like, so the sign for vegetable. Then I have corn. So corn can be a couple of ways. Corn, like you have the cob, yeah, corn, or corn. Like I'm turning it, yeah, corn. I like to do this one a little more sometimes because this one just looks like, sometimes it can look like you're talking about brushing your teeth. So this one's kind of that clear, like, you know, that kind of motion. So, but both work. Then we have potato. Oh, that's right. Sorry. I think like the last class we talked about potatoes. I got on such a sidetrack about it. It was kind of funny. Because potatoes are like my big like thing. I love potatoes. The sign for potatoes is you're gonna have a fist. You're gonna have your V in like the 2X kind of shape. Potato. This is also the sign for potato chips, like chips. If you're talking about, there's some reason you're at like, maybe you're at like a barbecue or something and someone's got potato salad, you could sign that, be clear, or chips, potatoes or actual chips, you would fingerspell chips. You could still do potatoes and then do potato chips, but if you're just kind of like, you know, you're having hot dogs and there's only chips there and you can do potato chip, that works. Let's see. Okay, then the next one I have is lettuce / cabbage, which is gonna be, it's always hard to describe. I'm gonna sign it real fast and show you guys. Cabbage. Yeah. So you kind of tap, and it's almost because of the head of lettuce. You know, you talk about a head of lettuce. So yeah, that's like the lettuce leaves, you know, they kind of form, kind of curl up like that. Lettuce. I know. The first time I saw that sign, I was like, that just looks like that's just not a nice word. It looks like it would be a very rude word.
Your dominant hand?
Say that one more time.
Is that your dominant hand in that
Yes,
sign?
this is my left hand. It can be your right hand. Either one works. It's
Okay.
just, yeah. Most, like I said, most are not really relying on left or right. It's just sometimes when I have like to use both, I try to show which one I'm using. If I don't tell you guys, most of the time, then it's either one. You can do lettuce or lettuce. Then we have carrot. Carrot is real simple, real fun. Carrot. I mean, just like you would think an actual carrot when you take a bite and break it. Then we have pickle. And this is my last vegetable. I know pickle's not technically, I mean, oh, that gets complicated. We're just going to leave it there because it's a cucumber that's been pickled. So we're going to say cucumber is a vegetable. So that therefore pickles are cucumbers. No, pickles are vegetables. So the sign for pickle, you know, I actually don't. I think you just would finger spell cucumber, because I've asked people about that, and they're just, yeah, I know. There's just some sign, some. I feel like people just were like, I don't like cucumbers. Let's just not. I'm teasing. Like, obviously, there's a real more set up language, and for cucumber, I think I do just see finger spell, which is kind of interesting. Anyways, the sign for pickle, there are two ways you can do it. One is more ASL. The other one is more that signing exact English, like I talked about. So the sign for pickle, that's more ASL. It's just gonna be pickle. Pickle. And you kind of make that like kind of like your pursed your lips, like when it's sour. Pickle. The other sign, the sign exact English, is gonna be that K, which is P but up. And it's gonna be your middle finger doing the same motion. Pickle. I do actually see this one more, the K motion for pickle. So this is kind of the one I commonly use, pickle. All right. Any other vegetables you guys can think of? Oh, I just thought of one, broccoli. Broccoli you can finger spell, but I've noticed that what people will do is they'll finger spell broccoli and then they'll go broccoli. Broccoli. Yeah. Which is kind of interesting because this is also the sign for like champ, like I'm the champion. But I'll see them do that. They'll finger spell broccoli and go broccoli. Avocado. I have not seen a sign for avocado. Let me put that in here to look up. Let me find my end. There it is. I have not seen one for that. Oh, nope, my phone does not want to acknowledge the spelling of avocado. Oh, maybe it is wrong. I had one letter off. It tried to change it to like to Spanish word. And I was like, that must not be it. I missed the O. I typed an A on accident. For bean. So the sign for bean is going to be your non-dominant pointer finger. And your dominant is kind of looking like that little pinching. And you're going to go, here. Tapping on the side, yeah. And it's like the beans that are in the pods. And so, yeah. It almost looks like I'm pinching. Yeah, this is not a great angle. Yeah, beans. If you're talking about a specific kind of bean, you would finger spell, like if you're talking about kidney beans, you would finger spell kidney. If you're talking about green beans, you would do that green beans. Yeah, for peas, you would just finger spell peas. Peas. Let's see. Brussels sprouts. I've not seen a sign for Brussels sprouts. I believe you just finger spell that. My mother also loves Brussels sprouts, so that's a common thing in my household, but I know in everybody else's, like everyone in the kids, they're just like, nope. No worries, you are good to go. Collards. I have not seen a sign for collards. I think you would just finger spell. There's a lot of, it's almost like the more basic you get, or the more precise you get, specific, like that's not as common, you have to like finger spell. Spinach is another one that I see finger spelled. I know, it's kind of like, oh, this would have been fun. I can always ask and check with people. Onion. Oh no, onion has a sign. There we go. I knew someone was going to find a word that has an actual sign. Sign for onion. It's going to be that same shape we did for apple, but now next to your eye. Onion. Onion. I don't know. I like this one. Garlic, I think is finger spell. I'm sorry. I know there's a lot. I told you guys you're going to give me all these signs and I'm going to have to like write them down because they're not that common, and a lot of times people finger spell a lot. Like I said, ASL finger spells a lot. Let me see. Let's see. Garlic. Sorry, I'm checking my my ASL app to make sure if there's actually like a clear one that's used. And it has garlic. Now I will say I don't know how often that is used because more people, like I said, do finger spell. And I know I feel like I say that a lot. It's like, well, I've not seen this. And it's because, like I said, it really depends on where you're at. You know, in New York, they might have a lot more signs for different precisive words, but here in Alabama, I've noticed it's been a little more, you do have more finger spelling involved. So, yeah, let's see. Okay, let me get back to my list. There we go. I'm gonna knock my phone over. Okay, how are we feeling on the types of vegetables? The very few I give you, very few signs I could give you. Feeling like we're gonna review them. That's what I meant. Like, is there any more, or are we good to review? Good to review? Okay. Let's go all the way back to our vegetables. So, vegetable. Vegetable, yep. Then we had corn. So corn. Then potato. Potato. And you want to tap it, yes, potato. That just made me think of one, pumpkin, but I'll come back to it. Okay. Lettuce or cabbage. Lettuce, yep, lettuce. Carrot. I love the animation. Everyone was ready to go. Then we have pickle or pickle. And then we had our little, I got to go to my little list so I can find, because the added ones. We had bean. So bean. Then we had onion. And then garlic. Okay, let's see. I think that was all our vegetables. I'm trying to make sure. Yes. Oh, wait. Okay. So pumpkin. So the sign for pumpkin. And the reason I thought of this is because you have that same motion as potato, but you do a slightly different thing. You know, I think that's why they chose to have the onion up here, because you're like when, you know, you're cooking onions, you cry. And I just love that. When they signed that, they told me that, I was like, oh, I love that. That makes so much sense to me. So I love when signs like that come together. So the sign for pumpkin is you're going to have your non-dominant's a fist, and then your dominant is going to flick the back of your hand. Yeah, pumpkin. And this is a sign for pumpkin. So see, trying to give you all the views. Yeah. So you want to have your fist kind of here, and then you flick the top of it. Pumpkin. Yep, pumpkin. Don't know why they decided to have it flicking. Maybe because I know a lot of people, when they get pumpkins and they want to save it. I know it's more with watermelons that flick it. Watermelon also is finger spelled. Sorry, I realized I was like, oh, I can see people getting excited. Watermelon. Some will do water and then they'll finger spell melon. I mean, like I said, you can. Like, no one's gonna be like, oh no, you can't do that. You can't do that. It just looks a little silly. My kids do it a lot. They'll just do watermelon. So, okay. Now, let's see. I have before we're like, we kind of take a break on actual food. And what we do is we're talking about the types. So like sweet, sour, hot, and cold. So the sign for sour, you know, I think a few of these you guys will probably have, well, a few of them you might already have seen. So the sign for sour is the same sign for pickle, sour. And it's again that pursed lips. And then sweet is going to be sweet. Yeah, sweet. That can be the sign, like actual like taste, like that tastes really sweet, or saying you are so sweet. So you're so sweet, that tastes sweet. Then we have hot. So hot is going to be kind of like almost like you're trying to catch a baseball. It's in your face and then you throw it down. Hot. Yeah. And I think it's because of the action. Sorry, my dog's trying to grab cardboard. I was just watching him, seeing if he can figure out the cardboard behind the trash can. He figured it out. He pulled it out. Very proud of himself, walking away. making a lot of noise. There we go. I'm gonna let him just have fun with that because that was kind of impressive. Anyways, so hot, I think the reason for hot is because, you know, like when you have those cartoons when they're eating something, it goes really hot and it's like all of a sudden it's like flaming out of their mouths. Hot, like it's coming out. Then cold. So cold is also going to be the same thing for like for winter. If you are cold yourself, freezer, and it's cold. And that's the nice thing. Hot and cold, they go the same way for tasting and for like weather temperatures. So if you're saying it's really hot outside, it's hot. If it's really cold outside, you'll be like, it's cold. So let's do our little fork. Oh, so yes, so spicy hot and temperature hot. Okay, wait. Yeah, it's for both. I just saw the question. I was like, oh, wait, okay. But yes, it's the same thing. So like if you're saying like that is spicy hot, it is hot. If it's like temperature hot, you would say that. If you're trying to explain a difference, like you're talking about it's spicy, you would finger spell spicy. If you were going to say like the temperature is hot, you would do the sign for temperature, which is you're going to have, it's almost like month. Y'all remember month, that one down, but now you just kind of do it on the back of the fingers. Yeah, temperature. So you would say temperature hot. Okay. Does that make sense? Okay. Now we're on to, like actual like meal things. So the first one I have is pizza. And the sign for pizza has 3 different ways I've seen it. I'm going to show you guys really 2 of them that are the more common ones I've seen. So the first one is pizza. It's like you're holding a piece of pizza in your hand, pizza. And then the other one is you have your V, 2 X's, and then you do the Z motion, pizza. And this one I love, I've always had fun with. And then at school, I came to know that they do pizza. It's not this. I was very sad because I thought this was I thought this one was used more often, and it really wasn't. It's pizza. All right. Then we have salad. So the sign for salad is salad. And see, I'll kind of slow down. Open hands, and they kind of bounce. Yeah, salad. And that's kind of like that tossing of the salads, you know, when you're mixing it, or when you go to a real fancy restaurant, they mix it in front of you, salad kind of tossing. Yeah. Then we have hamburger. So hamburger is going to be almost that motion you make when you're making a burger, like the meat. Hamburger. Yeah. When you're forming the patties, that's the word, not meat, patties. Sorry, I was trying to think of the word for patty. Hamburger. If you're talking about a cheeseburger, you'll do the sign for cheese, which is cheese. And you're going to have it, non-dominant is that sideways motion. Dominant is going to have like the bottom of your hand touch, and it's kind of pulled back far. And the reason is because up higher, it's different. It's like busy or movie. Back means cheese. So you would do cheese, burger. Yes. Then we have fish. So the sign for fish, and this is really the sign for most types of fish that are like eaten wise. So like salmon, tuna. If you're talking about a specific type, you would finger spell. The more bigger the animals, like sharks and dolphins are not a fish. I know. I promise. Like I just had to say that because I could feel someone going, no, that's not right. But they do have their own signs, but more like the edibles that you have, they don't really have their own sign. You just finger spell. So the sign for fish is fish. Yeah, fish. This can be for eating and for the pet. So either way, fish. Then we do have crab. So crab, which I think is funny, is crab. Little pinchers. This has also can be used for lobster, I've seen. if you're in a situation where you're trying to really explain crab or lobster, like I said, I feel like that should just be my class motto is you can always use ASL to help you clear it up. So ASL, like finger spelling, not ASL, you can always use finger spelling to clear it up. So then we have spaghetti, and then we'll take a break and go back through the ones that we've done. So spaghetti is you're going to have the two pinkies and they're going to spin out. Yeah, spaghetti. This is really the open sign for pasta. Yeah, and I mean, it's understood as also as spaghetti, but it's also understood as pasta. So it's kind of used for both. I'm trying to think. I mean, really, I've noticed it's not like the biggest end in the world if someone thinks you're talking about pasta and not actual spaghetti, because spaghetti is pasta. I know for, in English, we have a word for every single thing, like specifically this, and this. But in ASL, pasta and spaghetti are the same thing. So if you're talking about a really big different thing like manicotti, can I pronounce that right? Oh, I do not need anybody who's Italian to hear me say that because I feel like they'll hate me for how I pronounced it. Then you would like finger spell it and describe it. So, but for our little class, we'll just do spaghetti and pasta. Okay. So let's go back all the way to sour. Isn't that many, but it was a few. So sour. Mm-hmm. Then sweet. Sweet. Mm-hmm. Sweet. And then we have hot. Hot. Yep. Hot. Then we have cold. Cold. Mm-hmm. Then we had our foods. So pizza. Pizza or pizza. Good. Then we had salad. Salad. Mm-hmm. We had hamburger. Forming those patties. Yep. And then I added cheeseburger. So cheese burger. Mm-hmm. Then we had fish. 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 Mm-hmm. Crab / lobster. Crab. Mm-hmm. And then spaghetti. Spaghetti. Okay. So, I'm so sorry, you guys. Sitting down just feels makes me have to get more congested in those. That's why I keep every time, and I'm so sorry. It drives me crazy when I have to do that while I'm talking. The next thing I have is the types of drinks. And then I have more, but what I'm thinking of doing is just giving you guys drinks. And then if you have any questions, I'll tell you the sign for. And kind of if you guys are like, you know what, I think I don't need any more. I think I have a good amount. I will stop feeding you more. Okay. So we'll do our drinks and then we'll be done. Okay. So the first one I have is water. And so water is going to be a W. And your pointer finger is going to touch the corner of your mouth. Water. And you're going to tap it. Water. Mm-hmm. This is for any type of water. So if you're talking about I need some water to drink, you say water. I need the water fountain. I've seen just using water. If you're talking about it's wet, I saw water outside, water. When you're talking about an ocean or rivers, lakes, a lot of times what you do is you do the sign for water and then you kind of draw it. So for rivers or creeks, you do water and then that kind of motion. If you're talking about a pond, you would do water, circle motion kind of deal. So this water really does mean any kind of water. Then we have milk. So the sign for milk is milk. Milk. Yep. And that is because of these getting the cow, squeezing the cow's udders for the milk. So I love when everyone sees it, they're like, is that it? I'm like, yeah, that's exactly it. Then we have juice. So juice I've seen kind of in two different places. Juice, Just making that quick J, juice, or juice, juice. From the corner of your mouth, juice. More times I saw this out, more I saw learning it, but now being in school, I see more this juice inside the mouth, close to the mouth, I mean. Okay, then we have soda. Any type of soda, you're gonna finger spell it. There is not a specific one for Coca-Cola, Dr. Pepper, Pepsi, Sprite, none of that. You finger spell. But soda itself has a sign, and it's going to be, you're going to have your non-dominant of fist. Your dominant has the middle finger kind of like, it's not in, but it's almost like going inside. And then you pull and you kind of soda, soda, soda. Yeah. I always think about it, it's like when you open a can, you pull back the tap and then I don't know why it's slam down, but slam down afterwards. Soda. And then T. So the sign for T is going to be kind of like partially open. It's almost like a C, but sideways, like you're holding a cup. And you're going to go T. T. If you dip it like this, that's vote. That's the sign for vote. So yeah, I love how some signs are so different. It's almost like you're spinning it. Think about holding your little like spoon and mixing your tea. That's how you make it. Yeah, tea. I always think it should have been this, like tapping it in, because I don't drink tea. I'm more of a coffee person, but my mom has a cup of tea every day. And as we got older, she would be like, can you get the tea? Can you get the kettle off the oven and make my tea real quick for me? Just putting in the tea bag. So I got used to just the dipping in. So I thought it'd be this, but it's not. It's this. And then coffee, because coffee is important. Coffee is going to be 2 fists, coffee. And I'm just going to say this just to let you guys know, better safe than sorry. There's 3 signs that are very similar. Coffee, make, and then make out, like kissing, make out. I just have to clarify this. I know, young girls, I'm sorry, but I have to clarify this because I do not want you to make a mistake. So coffee is this. Make is this. Is that bouncing? Yeah, make. And then make out is sideways doing that motion. So please do not sign that, girls. I'm just telling you, please. I do not want an angry mom coming after me. I do not need this. I already have enough parents I got to worry about. I do not need another one. But I just needed to clarify in case you made a mistake and then someone looked at you weird and you're like, what did I say? That's what happened. So coffee. Okay. Now, how are we feeling? Are there any other food signs that you guys be curious of? I know we didn't go over any desserts. So instead of me just kind of throwing them, I'm going to let you guys, if you have ones you want to know, I'm happy to tell you. We have 15 minutes still. So I'll let you guys kind of. Lemonade. Okay. So for lemonade, I believe you do lemon, then drink. Lemonade. Yeah. A lot of times sometimes you don't even have to add that drink part. If you're talking about like for drinking, you're like, if you ask you what to drink and you say lemon, 9 times out of 10, they're going to know you mean lemonade. So any other food signs that you guys would like to know while I take my little water break? Cake. Okay. So the sign for cake, also the sign for like cupcake, is going to be non-dominant's palm up. Dominant's kind of that slight open cake. Really, this is used more for cupcake, but people will know what you're saying. If you're talking about, there's a big problem where you're trying to be like, I want a cake. I don't want cupcakes. You would finger spell cake. But if you're just talking about, oh, we had cake. Yeah, we had cake. Cake. Any others? Okay. Pie. Perfect. Okay. Because I was about to be like, I'm going to give you guys one, and that would have been it. And it was going to be ice cream. And I'll still share that one. So pie. The sign for pie is palm up. And I'm going to give you guys Oh, sorry. I felt like I needed to sneeze. Looking at it downward is you're going to slice it like a triangle. Pie. Okay. Look, I'm going to do the side, like my palms right here. Pie. Yeah. Pie. Yeah. It's almost like how you would cut it if you were cutting into a pie. Pie. I'm not good at describing, and I apologize. Pie. Okay. And then the last one, if no one else has any more, is ice cream. Because I like ice cream. I feel like a lot of people like ice cream. It's just a sign you gotta know. It's ice cream. Ice cream. So like the ice cream cone. Yeah, ice cream. Ooh. Okay. What we'll do is we'll stop and we will go over the drinks. And then at that point, I will let you guys have if you have any final questions, you can ask them. And then we can finish. So let's go all the way back to our water. Water. So just think of that W motion. Yeah, water. Water. Then we had milk. Milk, yep. Then we had juice. So juice could be juice or juice, I guess y'all's would be outward. My mistake. I realize that now. Juice. Juice? Yeah. Oh, this is getting complicated for me. If it's near your mouth, you're gonna go kind of inward, but if you're doing out, you're gonna just make that J. Does that make sense? A little. I would just stick with one and go with it. And then we had soda. So soda. Then we had tea. Then we had coffee. And then we had here, well, I'll do make. Yeah. And then what was after that? Drink was lemonade. So lemonade. And then we had our desserts, which was cake and pie and ice cream. Cake, pie, and then ice cream. All right, good. Okay. So are there any final questions? It doesn't have to be food related. It can be just kind of any sort of questions you guys have. Anything related with deaf culture, ASL? Any questions? Or are you guys kind of like, I'm good, I think. Oh, candy. Okay. Sorry, there's one more. Candy. You guys are going to hate me for this. The sign for candy is candy. So I know, how do you tell the difference between when you're talking about something sour, talking about a pickle, and talking about candy? I think that's why people tend to do this for pickle more, is because it can very easily confuse. Like I said, if you remember, I talked about when you do a pickle or sour, your lips kind of sour. That face movement kind of really helps talk about that you're talking about something sour, because with candy, you're like candy. You know, you're happy, you're excited, you like candy. Sour is your lips kind of curling in. If you're talking about sour candy, you would do sour and then candy, and probably maybe say sweet, something sweet involved. It's a lot of describing when you get to weird, to complicated things like that, sour candies. Because I remember that was a big topic with my kids for Halloween, is they wanted me to get sour candies for them. And I was like, okay. And they kept thinking I didn't understand. I was like, no, I understand. You all want sour candies. So yes. All right. Well, I am now having a very intense congestion moment over here, and it's been making a big challenge for trying to make sure I'm
Poor Jillian, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I promise. I'm used to this. This is, like I said, it's a yearly thing. It just hits me. And especially since I've been sitting, I've noticed when I walk, it clears so I can talk better. But because I've been sitting, it's just like, you know what? We're just going to fill up. Just kind of come up here and I'm like, I have to talk, but I sound so bad. But I promise I don't feel bad. It's just up here. Thank you. I'll be feeling better soon. Once the pollen is cleared out, I will be fine. I hope you guys have an awesome rest of y'all's week. Oh, the word for dessert. Okay, sorry. One more question. So the sign for dessert is going to be 2 D's, dessert. I see it more. I was taught sideways because I was taught this was date. So I do sideways. I do see a lot of kids flip them. So if you're talking about a dessert and you start talking about like cakes and like, oh, well, cookies or ice creams, they'll understand. It's not going to hurt if you finger spell dessert. So, but dessert is what I've seen. So I know that's like really why they, but yeah. All right. Okay. Well, like I said, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week.
I hope you can read soon, Jillian.
I promise next week I'll be so much better and y'all be like, I'm back to normal, guys. I promise. So anyways, hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.
Bye, everybody.